Behind me is Jack's van. We've just finished up. It's loud. There's not much that we have to say about it really. 2 sets of Dynaudio 3-way components in the back doors on custom builds. A Phi Q15 in a sealed box underneath the bed inside the cab, which I'll show you around in a minute. And just some solid tunes. Saying, Jack?
Huge! The size of it.
So it's had like a NS10 style monitor in front. We noticed it on Shogun Audio's sort of drum and bass label, their Instagram page. Big rig, little tiny speaker. So Jack got in touch and Dog's with us today as well. So it's a little quieter now. I'll talk you through what we've done. So we've got, let me zoom you out. Got an MDF oak laminated panel on the back there for 3-way Dynaudio Tech 362. This is one stereo pair in one door, but it's playing right. And then there's another stereo pair in the other door, it's playing left. Then we've got this backing plate that's handmade because of the differences in the size of the door. And you'll notice that they look odd on the door, but that's because it lines up evenly with the cabinetry in the van. And then in the cupboard, got Melee Power 1 and a Melee Power 4. The 4 is running the 4 sets in the rear, or the 2 sets in the rear doors, and the Melee Power 1 is running a Phi Q15 in there that can throw long, sort of low and loud. It's a lovely piece of kit. How wicked is this van? Look. This is that there, its bed, that wall, that whole wall comes down to here and it just turns into a big Gucci bed. And this kitchen through here, just get over this table, and then you've got 1210's, you've got CDJs there, and you've got this gorgeous Bozak rotary mixer. And then booth speakers for when he's doing a mix. Inside here doesn't want any of the main system on. You can just go master off, booth on, and away we go. Real simple system this, and it's usually the best sounding one. Everything is naturally in time. Of course you've got a discrepancy between the sub inside the cab and then the speakers outside. Other than having a remote box with a wall of subwoofers, we're not really going to get that in time, but sounds wicked. With a little bit of phase alignment from the amp, we can get a nice sort of solid hit about 30 yards away from the van. It's pretty loud, like. So yeah, cool project this. Impromptu insert to this video. I've been intrigued by this project since I saw it on Instagram. Like I said earlier, I saw it on a Shogun Audio reel. It was actually Jack's reel that they sort of played music over and stuff, but it did get it put it on my radar. I mentioned something in there, we spoke to Jack, or Jack got in touch with us about putting a system in the van, and I've just realised that I've spoken a fair bit on the video, but I don't really understand that much about the project itself. I just see the potential in how it could sound when playing to, say, a crowd, or what we could bring to that project. Jack mentioned to me before we started the job that he didn't realise there was sort of such a 12-volt world for audio and for sound, and then with sort of our knowledge we know that we can make a system that can, say, play to a crowd, much like our sort of previous loud demo cars and stuff that we've built. So I have got a couple of questions for Jack, and I'm sure if you have, just in the comments, and I'll try and point them at Jack. This is Jack, by the way, and it is Jack's van, so I probably should have introduced him before I started talking, because what made you want to build the van in such a way? Because there's, as you know how I feel about it, there's a lot of people that talk about building projects like this, and they just never come to fruition. It's a dreamy thing. Like, I'd love a project like that, you know, but I don't know, more of a talker than a doer, I suppose, most, you know?
I think a lot of people are.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the second van that I've ever lived in.
Okay.
The second van I've converted. And the first one was super basic, and it just was a bed in the back of a van.
Yeah.
And I travelled around Australia.
Okay.
And I always loved the freedom that it gave me, but there were so many restraints and stuff. But anyway, I came back home, pandemic happened, all that stuff. And then I was living in London for a little bit, but the rent prices were just crazy, and I was like constantly wanting to go travelling and be on the road again.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think I'm going to do another van. I think it's the answer to my worries or my problems, is to do another van, but this time I had a bit more money behind myself, and I wanted to do the van of my dreams, like really what I actually would love if I could do anything. So I spent a long time planning it. I spent about 6 months planning before I even bought it.
That shows as well in the build, to be fair. Everywhere you turn, everywhere you look, it's kind of
6 months planning and 6 months of designing it on 3D and CAD. So it's all been designed on a laptop before I even purchased the van.
Yeah.
So I knew that I was getting the right size vehicle, I knew where everything was going to go, etc. before I even bought it. But the reason that I've put the decks in, obviously anyone that knows me, I'm a massive music lover. Been brought up around music since I was a young kid. Dad was a DJ, older brother was a DJ, I'm a DJ, and I've been running music events for 10 plus years. So it was kind of my way to combine my love for music with my love for travel, because they're my two biggest loves, and
pull them both together.
And that's what we got.
Well, that's primarily what got me into in-car sound early on, is pulling those two things together, being in control of a car. It's slightly different reasoning, but being in control of a car and listening to what you want to listen to, but wherever you want, however loud you want, and whatever you want as well, because a lot of the time when there's other people around, you kind of can't really listen to what you want to listen to, or it kind of has to be a group thing. But no, that's wicked. Right, question 2. What's the van's intended use? It looks intentional, or has it grown into that intention? Like, you built something for yourself, and then it has kind of accidentally turned into this vessel.
It's 100% evolved from the original concept.
Yeah, wicked.
The original concept was put my decks from my bedroom setup in the back of my van, take it on the road with me.
So it's just a drive-in bedroom.
That was the very first idea, was literally just, how can I pick up my bedroom? Because every day I have a little mix, listen to music. I was like, I just want to take it on the road with me. And then it was like, oh, if I take it on the road with me, I could meet up with DJs as we go, and we could record DJ mixes, and we could do like an online like kind of radio thing. And then my event brain switched on, and it was like, hang on, you could go to events if you had this kind of thing.
Of course you can. It's a marketing dream.
And so it still keeps evolving. But before I met you, before we were in touch, the idea was, I was going to travel around Europe, and I was going to meet up with DJs, record DJ mixes, and upload them to a YouTube channel. But then I had one day where I was in London, and I had the opportunity to play to some friends. There was about 10-15 of us in London, and it was the first time playing to a group of people from the van, and at the time, as you know, I only had the Yamaha monitors. I really was maxing the volume, and it was quite uncomfortable to see the red line happening on my mixer, and I was still not even anywhere close to like a pumping sound. And like I said, the original concept was online radio. Didn't really have much thought about how it would sound playing to a crowd, because it was always about recording and uploading to online. But yeah, now I've seen the opportunity, and I'm just so happy that now we've upgraded it. And
Yeah,
now it can play to a lot of people. The volume's going to be good. It's going to feel good. It already looks better as well.
So that's actually my last in 5 questions, but I may as well put that in now. It's a decent segue. What do you think to the way that it sounds now?
I'm very happy.
Yeah.
With the speakers on the outside, I knew they were going to be loud.
Yeah.
That I think is even louder than I was expecting.
Right. Okay.
The sub in the middle,
Yeah.
I was a bit worried about, like, the positioning of it, the way it's facing. Like, I didn't know about bass being omnidirectional. That's another thing I've learned in this process.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing having that bouncing off the wall and then that coming inside. Obviously, playing a record in there, we're still getting a bit of feedback and stuff.
Yeah. That's a thing.
There's some things that you just, at the end of the day, we're trying to build a system inside a tin can.
Absolutely. There's certain compromises. And what Jack's mentioning there is that the lower you go and the louder you go, what you do is you get feedback where the vibration inside the van will start to play through the stylus, which then plays through the system, which the speaker tries to play again and gets picked up by the stylus, and that's a feedback loop, and it just goes on and on and on and actually increases in volume. So you have to be careful. He's got they're CDJs, am I right? Is that CDJ?
Technically they're XDJs because they don't actually have a CD. They don't have a CD, but they're just for USBs.
Not a DJ. But the digital format, the sort of solid state format, of course you can just knock on that as much as you like, but when you're using a moving medium like that, like a record player, and that can happen in here, when you sort of walk along the floor or cause any vibration, you get feedback which plays through the speakers. We've had it in this room through a hi-fi, never mind in a van which is a 15-inch, massive subwoofer. So not just 15-inch subs aren't massive, but this is a big hard-hitting subwoofer. It's not just your conventional 15. So causes them a little bit of grief at big volumes. We have to sort of high pass that slightly if we want to play it loud specifically from records, but I think maybe the emphasis might be on digital if it's going to be played loud, to stop that sort of feedback. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it sounds good quiet. It sounds really chilled quiet from outside the van, and it just it's linear, so it doesn't have a curve in which it starts to sound brash or unruly as you turn it up. It just remains linear, and that's from the decent hertz amps and the Dynaudio 362, which is a wicked 3-way. It's a good choice of speaker, and then of course the 5 sub. We all know how good they are. So right, okay, let's go back to question 3. Trips planned. You say it's evolved. It's gone from being your bedroom on wheels effectively to now being a bit of a crowd pleaser. You obviously still do your original plans and do your mixes, around sort of Europe. But have you got anything, anywhere you're going? Where are you going next?
Yeah, so I've done 2 trips so far. I've taken it to a couple festivals around the UK. I've done Glastonbury and We Out Here Festival. And now my next plan is to get a ferry over to Spain. So I'm going to head over to Spain later this month. We've got a gig in Barcelona, so I'm going to drive to Barcelona.
Dreams.
And then from Barcelona, I'm going to get on a ferry over to Ibiza, which is going to be my first time in Ibiza. So I'm excited. I got a friend that lives over there, so I'm going to drive and see him, and hopefully start meeting up with some DJs over there. I mean, catch at the end of the season, and then just continue traveling around Europe.
That'll be
I'm trying to not really put too much of a strict plan or a route in place because I've done a lot of traveling and I know it never works out like that.
No, of course.
But around Europe basically.
Yeah, and with it being your sort of your own thing, your own van, there's no real need for a strict plan, is it? You can kind of move around.
The beauty of the fact that I live in it as well as it being.
So if it's relatively late notice, you can do it. If there's plenty of time, you can do it. It's. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of that.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm too sort of ingrained into normal life. It's going to take a lot to get back out of it.
It always blows people's mind when I say what I'm doing or say that I actually live in it full time. They're like, "Oh, what? You actually live in that?"
You wouldn't think it either. Like you've seen it on the video. Like it is as clean as a whistle. It's just nice.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing when designing it, is that I didn't want people, because I knew it was going to be a social van. I wanted people to come and listen to music and stuff. but I didn't want people to feel like they were in my bedroom or like
Yeah,
seeing
yeah,
my.
of
I didn't want it
course.
to be a permanent bed, basically.
Yeah.
That's why the bed is like up against the wall, and that
Yeah.
I put that artwork there so that it really just looks like a wall,
Yeah.
and that.
And I didn't know that was a bed either at first.
Exactly,
It's
yeah.
not obvious at all. It doesn't look like
Yeah.
there's a sort of 8-inch gap between it and all. It just looks like a wall.
Yeah.
I sat in there earlier because we were playing with the sub. There's two different sections to the system. It has the booth section, which is just local sort of near field stuff inside the van, and then it has the master section, which is the section we've been working on. And Jack wanted to sort of shut the doors and see what it sounded like inside. And when I was sat in there, it didn't feel like I thought it was going to feel. I thought it would feel tight. I thought it would feel like, I don't know. It's just these subconscious things that you sort of think. And I just thought it would be a lot closer inside. It didn't feel like that. It felt like 4 or 5 of you could be in there having a listen, having an all right time, you know, and it not get breathy in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The first day I finished there, I sat in there with 2 friends, and we were in Peckham, so in South London, and I was literally just parked on the street, and we went in there about 11 at night. We were listening to tunes, having a couple of drinks, and we came out at like 2 in the morning, and it felt like we just left a little bar.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Brilliant.
It was a very surreal experience.
That's quality. Right. Last but not least, how do, if you want them to, people follow your journey in the van? Are you going to document it? And this will also be the point where I put any contact for Jack in terms of his social media or whatever ways to get hold of you and listen to your mixes. Are you going to upload your mixes? Loads of questions in one there, but how do people follow where you're going to go?
So I mainly post on Instagram.
Yeah.
My Instagram is Jack and the Bozak.
Yeah.
So the Bozak is the name of the van.
Which comes from
the name of the mixer being the heart of the operation.
Yeah, good knob feel. Wonderful thing.
And then, so you can follow me on that, and then you can also follow Lifetime Guarantee, which is the name of my record label.
Okay,
which is kind of like the umbrella that I'll be posting the mixes on out from. On YouTube. So we've got a YouTube account. I've literally just started it. We've got about 12 subscribers, so please help me out.
Get on that.
We've posted 2 mixes so far. First one is my friend Ovi that we recorded in the Black Mountains in Wales. And then the other one was myself, which was actually in Winchester, not too far from here. So you check them out. They have the old speakers, so you can see like the before, and then when we post the next one, you'll see the new speakers. But I'm going to try and post a few mixes a month, hopefully up it as I get a bit more used to the whole editing, posting,
of course,
stuff like that.
Because this is a new thing for you, isn't it? This evolution of the whole thing is.
It's all new. So Jack
I'm really happy
Bozak
with
Lifetime Guarantee.
We'll put that in the description and it'll be on screen now. But I'm happy that we've caught this at the beginning and we've not caught it at the end. It was just a chance thing. Wicked. Thank you, mate. Everyone, this is Jack. That's his van. You've seen it, you've heard it. It sounds ridiculous. I mean, we've just got a small Rode mic on the top of the camera, but you can be 50 paces from it and it just sounds just as nice as it does. That whole sort of wall of sound thing, it's got it good. All right? Take it easy.
To you I